Hey guys, today's card's going to be kind of a technique type of card. So I've got some stamps here. I've got my what's this called? Like an Embossing Buddy type thing. Versamark ink. I've got Dapper Denim and basic black in cardstock and in the our ink pad. You can see that. And I'm going to do a bleaching technique today. Now it's obviously one of those techniques that because of the bleach you need to be in a ventilated area, and obviously when you're maybe doing this with children, maybe be more aware of that side of things. Maybe don't do it with kids. Maybe you should do the you know, let the adults do that. But it's a great technique, and it looks really fab when it's, you know, when it's done, and when you'll see what happens. So you're going to need thin bleach, just cheap box standard bleach. You can get it from any supermarket. Yeah, so let's do that. I did actually forget my bleach, so hold on one second. I thought I had everything prepared. Obviously not. Sorry about that. I'll be back in a minute. The other thing you'll need is, I have a dedicated paintbrush that is just for bleaching. I've even labelled it so I don't forget which one it is, because you don't really want to use this again with your acrylics or watercolour paints and things like that. So let's do this. Can you tell I'm nervous? I haven't done this for a while. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to do all the embossing first, so before I get to the bleaching bit. And I've just got a pot here of some bleach and some paper towel, just, you know, just to be on the safe side. So I'll start with the black one, black piece of cardstock. And for this one I'm going to use the Pop of Paradise stamp set that we have in the catalogue, and I'm using the Thinking of You. I thought because it's quite bold, it should hopefully give the effect that I'm looking for. Oh, right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Embossing Buddy. We have the Embossing Buddies in the catalogues. I happen to have this guy on hand. And this is the EK Success powder tool. That's what it's called. I couldn't think of it earlier. Don't worry about the powder on your darker cardstock. It will come off once you've done, you know, once you've actually embossed it and that. Oh, I'm going to use my Versamark ink, and I'm just going to ink up the stamp pretty well, and I'm just going to stamp that. You don't want to rock your stamps, and you don't want to press too hard. To be fair, if you've got good quality stamps, whether they're rubber stamps or whether they are clear stamps like our photopolymer stamps, you shouldn't have a problem with pressure, because you should be able to just give it a light bit of pressure and the image will come out really well. So I don't know if you can see that on there, but you'll see it in a second. And I'm going to prepare all my embossing stuff, and then I'm going to emboss all of it together. So this is just clear embossing powder, and I'm just going to chuck that over there. And there you've got the powder on there. So I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm going to do the next piece, and again I'm going to use my powder tool just all over. This one is going to be the main piece, if you like, or the main panel on the card, so I'm just going to emboss all over that. Right, I've got my Stampin Scrub to the left of me. I've just used to the right of me. I've just used my Stampin Mist on it, and I'm just going to clean my stamp while I'm here. it works really, really, really well. So I'm really pleased that I bought one. And ta-da! Even gets things like Versamark off, which is kind of tricky sometimes. Now, I've got my Versamark again, and I've got one of the fish stamps from Seaside Shore stamp set. Again, this is in our new catalogue, our annual catalogue. Oh, just while I'm talking about catalogues, don't forget that on September 1st our holiday catalogue goes live, so be sure to check that out. If you visit my blog, you'll be able to see all the information on that on September 1st. I can't show you that at the moment because the launch date hasn't happened, and as soon as I get my own order in, I will obviously share the products. They are awesome. But this guy's in one of our suites. And I will also be using the, what's this stuff called? Seaweed. So I'm using this little guy here and the seaweed. But these two, sorry, there are another two fish. Another two fish. Right. I'll show you what I'm going to do with the other guy later. So again, I'm going to ink up my Versamark really, really well. Just checking I'm still recording. Really, really, really well. And I'm just gonna stamp him everywhere, just randomly on my page. Now, if you're working on white cardstock, sometimes you won't see your Versamark. You can see it better in person, but on a video you probably wouldn't be able to see it. So you can do it in stages, and I'm hoping that I've still got enough juice in my ink pad that I can do it all in one go. But if you can't, just do it in bits. So do, you know, sections at a time, so to speak. Let's see, it's getting a little nose in there. And you notice that I'm going off the page as well. So I'm not, the more random you can get, and I'm not very good with random, but the more random you can get, the more it's going to look like you've cut it out of a, you know, piece of pattern paper, as opposed to, if it's too cylindrical, that's not the word, what's the word, too symmetrical, I don't know, it's a different look, but it works really well if you want it to look like it's come out of a, you know, like you've cut it out of pattern paper that you already had. If that made any sense. So again, I'm just doing the exact same thing, just tapping on some embossing powder. Give it a good thingamabob. Now there are some bits that I've got on here I'm not liking. So if there's little areas that you don't want, like that doesn't belong, I must have pressed too hard. That guy. And then over here there's a bit that isn't, I think it's the stamp, not the thingy bob. Seems to be a funny dust on here, other than the... Right. And don't worry too much, I mean, if it's not perfect, it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's not meant to be. It's your handmade product. Right, so now I have these two, like so. So this is going to get a little can't talk today. A little noisy, but just bear with me. I've just got a heat tool. We have them in the catalogue too if you want one of them. I'm just using what I've got, so Told you it would get noisy. Right. So what I have now, and you won't be able to see much at the moment, I don't think anyway. Let me just take a paper towel, get rid of something not right with my embossing powder, but maybe I need new embossing powder. But I don't know if you can just about see the reflection there, but hopefully you can. And again, I'm just gonna, it just gets the powder off, and there's the other bit. I'm sure something's not right with my embossing powder. It's a bit funny. Anyway, right, so I know what it is. I think I've worked it out. Right, so now we're going to do this bleaching Dewberry What's It. So bleach, dedicated, this is not a pencil, what's this thing called? Paintbrush. You're just going to dip it in. Now I wouldn't suggest going too mental with the, you know, with the amount of bleach, because you want to do this, you can add more to it, right? You can't take it away. So all I'm going to do quickly, just because of the moisture, is just add a non-stick mat here. I'm going to take some of my bleach, and you're just going to go over the top of your embossing powder, and what will happen is the embossing powder, where you've heat set it, it will resist the bleach. So try not to go outside the lines, because obviously that will, you know, unless you're cutting it out, then it's not so bad, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. I did try this on our Melon Mumbo, and it worked fabulous. So I hope it's going to work on this. If not, we'll just use the actual stamp set. I don't know if it's going to work actually on the black. Let me add a bit more. See whether that will. No, it's not actually taking at all. How funny. Huh. Okay, well, you live and learn. Let's try this, because I know that this worked really well on the Melon Mumbo. And being bleach, it will also dry quite quickly. So let's see how we go. That's all by there. Sorry, Mr. Fish, I'm bleaching you. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you can see that actually. Oh, went out the lines. Good one. Doesn't matter really. Oh. If this doesn't work, which it looks like it's, oh no, it is. Stop doubting myself, honestly. I'm just going to swing this round. I don't know if you can see on the first ones that we did over here, can you see the colour changing? This is also why you need to be careful not to go out the lines too much with the bleach, but that's just the perfectionist in me. If that doesn't bother you, then don't worry about it, but that's me. Me being me. Right, let's see. Oh. And remember, you can always add a bit more. When it dries, if you find that it's you know, you've not got the effect that you were thinking it was going to be, or you know, it's not light enough or whatever, you can totally add some more. I don't even know what happened there, so I'm just going to leave that as is. Right, so I'm just going to leave my paintbrush there. So, can you see, obviously this didn't work, never mind, we'll figure that out in a minute. But can you see what's happening is all the basically the colour within the or the pigment within the cardstock is coming out. Now if I gently, because you don't want to reheat your embossing powder and you don't want to burn your embossing powder, but if I gently go over this, get rid of that one, you'll see it'll dry quicker as well. Ta-da! Oh, it's hot. Be careful, guys. Now, if you're not as impatient as I am, and you're not making a video, you could just let it dry on its own, and to be honest, it dries pretty quick. But check it. Basically, you've taken the pigment out of the cardstock. That's what I say. You see here, I've kind of gone out the lines a bit. First thing they teach you when you learn how to colour in. So you know, if that bothers you, then you've just got to be a bit more careful. But basically, that's done. Right. So I'm just going to let it dry, and then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to I'll get rid of this. Don't need that now. I'm going to take the seaweed that we were talking about earlier, and I'm going to use Dapper Denim ink pad, and I'm just going to create a I was going to put this all over here, but I don't know, it might mess it up. Maybe I don't want seaweed. Maybe I want starfish. Let's do starfish instead. Just going to stamp that there. So I'm changing my mind on the video. I'm allowed, right? Of course, of course. So let's see. Yeah, let's just get bubbles. I'm still changing my mind. Yeah, let's have bubbles. Right, I'm going to put that in my ink pad. Yeah. Right, so I've got my little bubble stamp. I'm not going to put it near the fish, I'm just, so to speak, I'm just going to, or near their mouths, I'm just going to add in, fill in the gaps. And the nice thing about this is that you've essentially made your own background paper for a card. This is why stamping is so much fun. What else do I want? Do I want anything else? Could that be overkill? Probably. Right, I'm going to leave it like that. So all I did was I used a different stamp out of the stamp set. That's not, it's fine. Now I need to work out what I'm going to do, because this guy didn't work the way I thought he was going to work. Let me just try something quickly. Hey guys, I'm back. The camera kind of died. I'm just going to finish up the card. What I did with the Thinking of You is I heat embossed the black piece of cardstock, and then it's quite an easy shape to cut out, so I've cut that out by hand. But we do have some dies called Sweet and Sassy, which are two styles of hearts that actually will die cut this for you. So when I get my hands on that, I will show you what that looks like. So I'm taking another stamp from the Seaside Shore, and I just thought the card needed a little bit something else, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So what I've done is I've taken this sort of bobbly, these little like dot things, and I'm just gonna ink them up. I'm going to stamp them off, and then I'm going to stamp them on here, and slightly off the page as well. Off the page, off the, oh, it didn't actually go off the page. Slightly off the piece. So I don't know, I might use that way when I actually put it on the card. Anyway, so I think I'm just going to do that, just so that there's a bit of something on it. Clean my stamp off. I love this thing. A little bit more of that. So yes, camera's dying is not fun. So I'm going to go through the pieces. These are all the pieces now for our card. Just turn this over so it's easier to see. So I have a piece of our thick Whisper White cardstock, and it measures 11 by 4 1/4, and I'm just going to fold it in half. Find my bone folder. Okay. Come back. I'm just going to fold it in half. This is super easy, guys. Anybody can do this. You can use a, because it is thicker, what I should have done is I should have scored it so it's got a nice crisp edge, but it's okay. It's okay. And then what I have is our panel that we created, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, so that's going to sit just on there like so. But before I do that, I think I'm going to put together these pieces. So this piece is an inch. This is our basic black cardstock. It measures 1 inch by 5 1/4, so it will sit across the base of the card. This piece it was actually an offcut piece, so it's basically the bit that was on the end here, because over here we have A4 size card, so it's longer than 11 inches. So it's literally the piece that came off the end here. So at the moment it measures, what did I say, 5 1/4 by, oh sorry, 4 1/4 by about 3/4 of an inch at a guess, but it is just that piece that came off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this guy straight on there. And I'm going to do that now. I can find what I'm looking for, that'd be useful. Oh no, that one's... Oh, sorry, hold on one sec. I really should have been more prepared for this. Anyway, I haven't done a video for a while, so I'm going to let myself off for that. So I'm just sticking that on there. Easy. This guy's going to go on this panel. You can decide whatever you want. Now I know you're looking at that going, well, hello, what's going on there? You'll see in a minute. So I'm just going to stick this all together. Make sure you fish it the right way up. I have done things like that before where it's not well, when that's not, also if it's somewhat straight. I do have a little bit of an edge here, so I'm just going to trim that off. Easy peasy. I'm going to put this panel now onto my card base, and there's not a whole lot of, more of what we did was in the technique of the background, using the bleach technique. So the actual card is quite simple. Oh, do I do anything else? It's, oh, why can't I do this? It's quite a straightforward, simple card that anybody can do. Oh, that'll do. So this piece, this Thinking of You piece, I'm just checking my camera because it keeps dying on me. We're going to use a dimensional, which again we sell on now on the website, and I'm just going to stick a bunch of these on the back. Yes, I use tons of adhesive. I hate the thought that my card's going to fall apart. So, and I'm just, you see this bit here that you're like, well, what's she doing there? Because, you know, makes no sense, love. I'm going to just stick this over here. And what I've also done is I've gone over the edge of the blue of the Dapper Denim so that it gives it just a different look. You could line it up with that if you really wanted to, but you don't have to. So there's a very, very, I think, sweet thinking of you card. The other alternative is, instead of using basic black in the background here, because this kind of made it a bit more masculine, I think, you could use the Dapper Denim, or you could use Calypso Coral. That would look really nice. You could use Mint Macaron. Again, these are colours that are in the suite for the stamp set, so they all coordinate together and they go with our DSP, which is our Designer Series paper. So there you are. Really, really easy, quick card. All done. So I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully it won't be so choppy like this one. I will get better at this, I hope. Yeah, so have a great day, guys. Bye.